Hello, my beautiful Lenka Lutonska here, author of Energetic Selling and Marketing, and I'm popping on this super quick impromptu live because you know what happened? I have identified number one problem that holds women back from the greatest success, and that is some form of hiding. We are hiding, first of all, our desires. Like we have these big desires, but we're not even sometimes capable or willing to reach to them and say, okay, it's mine, because it's too big, it's too much, we're gonna be judged. We're hiding from voicing ourselves. We're hiding some parts of ourselves that could be of a huge value to the world, but we are scared or something. So we'll rather be a little normal, come back to, be one of many. We're hiding, sometimes we're scared of visibility because, again, judgment, criticism, etc. And if that's you, please raise your hand. I certainly, yes, I'm raising my hand first of all. I've had share of all of it. As immigrant, girl with accent, a little bit funny teeth and all of that. Sure, I lived through many fears, and I experienced when people were calling me ugly names, offended me, accused me of many things. So there are things to be scared of, and when that happens, when something like that real happens, when somebody is criticizing you and I don't know, calling you horrible names, like they know you or something, it's horrible. Humanly it's hard, but we've gotta get through it, because without it we cannot live our full lives. Those desires of yours, however great there might be, whether it's about relationship, whether it's about building your business and growing your business 10 times over, whatever those great desires may be, they're ready right now to incarnate and live through you. But we've got to be a fantastic human parents and accept those ideas, and that requires a full embodiment of those ideas, of those desires. And in there is zero hiding. Your soul, our soul, never hides. It's our human mind that makes judgments. So I could tell you about many things that you've probably heard about, how to stop hiding and fears of visibility, etc. I'm sure you heard in the past million times that opinions of others don't pay you any bills, and you've got to focus on those that you help, and you've got to focus on that, why you're doing what you're doing. And all of that is absolutely true. But today I want to share with you one very practical exercise that personally helped me most when it came to overcoming my own fears to do with visibility or hiding some aspects of me, making myself smaller in some way. So one little exercise, and really one principle as well. The principle is this, energetic principle is this, that whatever fears you might have to do with showing yourself fully, being visible, voicing what you want, maybe strengthening your boundaries, whatever that embodiment of the desire looks like, whatever fears you might have, you're not scared of other people. You're not scared of judgment from others. You are scared of yourself. Because those fears that we feel when it comes to visibility and showing up fully simply reflect the judgments we put upon ourselves. For instance, I know in past when I was judged online, when people called me various names, some of them I could just smile or appreciate that this comes from somebody who don't know me. Or I could say like whatever, because if they call me, somebody calls me ugly names, like whatever. So most of the things that I in past read about me or heard about me, let's say online, wouldn't touch me really. But in past, when somebody commented on my accent, on my language, and how dare am I to work with British people or British speaking people, that I should at least take some English lessons. And whenever I saw some comments to do with my language and the way I speak, that would like literally be a dig into my heart, and I would cry, etc., etc. And the reason why it would touch me so badly is because that was the judgment I placed upon myself. The judgment, the self-judgment that was, because of the way you speak, your accent, etc. You're not good enough, you're not measuring up, you don't have Queen's English, etc., etc. You've got Eastern European accent. So this comes to happens with every single fear, or whatever it is that might be holding you back from not showing up fully. It's always some form of self-judgment that is holding you back. Now, how to overcome it? So this is where I will tell you about one exercise that personally helped me most, and you can translate it into energetic practice if you like. So the exercise I'm referring to is called New Orleans Flexibility Drill. And I have no idea where that name comes from, but I remember it very clearly because it was exercise that where they took us during my when I was studying neurolinguistic programming many moons ago, and at the highest level, the trainer's level, I went to Australia to get trained, and it was essentially, if I really simplify it, it was many weeks of learning how to present, how to teach, how to present on the topic of neurolinguistic programming. So amongst many different exercises, New Orleans drill was one of those that stuck with me, and it was an exercise that was really designed to overcome any fears of visibility or fears to do with presenting, etc., etc. And it went like this. So we were separated into groups, maybe groups of 8, and we were encouraged to share with the groups our greatest fears, that what we're scared of when it comes to being visible and presenting, etc., etc. So my fears back then were that I was too young to have any credibility. I was at the time around 26 years old, and somewhere in my mind I thought, well, at 26, if you go out and teach, grown-up people, so to speak, they won't take me seriously. I was scared that because I come from Slovakia, again, who will take me seriously in a big wide world, and of course my accent, and few other things. So I shared this with my group, and then we were given a topic and random to present, and we were presenting. We were taught an exercise which I will share with you now. It's a super simple how to put yourself in a so-called receptive state where you connect your left and right hemisphere so you can be more resourceful. And our job was to be able to receive all of those most horrible judgments and offenses from the audience, and in that receptive state find solution within so as to not to react and continue with the presentation. And so the receptive state is very simple to get into. It's something you do when you read a book and you get absorbed, or when you're driving. It's when you're in so-called light hypnosis, if you like. But this is when you connect your left and right hemisphere so the information between those can flow more fully, and it's fantastic to tackle any nerves. In that state, when you're in that state, you are way more resourceful and can be more grounded, more resourceful, of course, etc. And the way it goes, it's super simple. You find a spot on the wall that is above your eye level. You fixate on that spot, whatever it might be, and without moving your head, while you're still able to recognize all the details of that spot, you will expand your so-called peripheral vision. So you will notice what is on your left, what is on your right, all the way up to at least 180 degrees. So you can kind of see from the corner of your eyes your hands, while you're able to notice still the details of that spot. So when you do that, even for a few seconds, you will get into very light trance, and your left and right hemisphere will get connected more. And so this is good state when you're more grounded and more receptive. So in that state, we were then listening and observing being thrown at us the worst, being being presented with our worst fears externally. So people would be shouting like from my audience, you know, but who are you to teach us? You know, how old are you? You know, what experience do you have? You have no experience to teach, to share. And what accent is it? It's a funny, etc., etc. So in that moment, I had no choice but to deal with those fears there and then. And here's the thing: when you deal with fears practically there and then once, you will massively neutralize the energy of that fear. So that doesn't mean that it won't ever happen in the future, but it minimizes likelihood of having to attract energetically those experiences into your life, because you've dealt with it once very successfully. You, so to speak, held your ground and you stayed in your power. So there is no real energetic need. You're not focusing on it. You're not attracting it, activating it energetically. So it minimizes those occurrences for the future. But mostly, you know you've done it once. So if something like that happens again, you know you can deal with that. So I will encourage you to do this version of exercise with yourself, because you can do it even with the help of journal. And how it will go then, first and foremost, you want to identify real specific fears. What the heck are you really scared of when it comes to showing yourself fully? Like what's, you know, like if you're hiding something, be it your desire, your full voice, part of you that could be helpful to others, or whatever it might be, or you're just not visible online, let's say. So what specifically are you scared of? Write it down, be specific. Now, secondly, you're going to put yourself in a learning state, and you're going to imagine that, yes, bring into your mind the idea that these are not fears of, you know, I'm not scared of other people. This is the judgments I place on myself. So then you can put yourself in a receptive state, if you like, and imagine that you're experiencing these fears, knowing that it's no other people, that it's yourself doing it. And how could you then tap into yourself? You know, you can ask for help of whatever works for you, God, angels, higher self, soul, whatever works for you. Like, give me another perspective. How can I deal with this powerfully here and now, while it is happening, while I activated the energy of my greatest fears? What could I tell myself? What is it that I'm blind to see yet? And you will find it. You will find that you will be, even in this imaginary scenario, yes, you will look at your fears right here, and that you will be able to find in you know what? This is fine. I can live with this. I can live with this. It's a little bit like that story about the prince that was following the roar of a monster from the mountains. And the closer he went to the mountains, the louder that the roar of that monster became. But he followed the voice. And when he finally saw the monster, it turned out that that monster was only this big. And he asked that monster, like, what's your name? I'm going to kill you, but there will be stories written about you for years to come. And that monster said, my name is fear. And that is exactly what's happening in our minds when we're hiding ourselves to whatever extent. We make those fears so much bigger than they in actuality are. They're no monsters, they're like this. But to do that, to bring them from over here to here, we've got to face them, we've got to look at them, and receptive state, and reminding yourself that these are only self-judgments. I'm experiencing myself through others will certainly help you do that. So I encourage you to do this exercise in some shape or form, to find resolution for this, to experience this one time powerfully, how you're dealing with those fears anyway, how you're doing it anyway. And from there, you will minimize that energy so you don't unconsciously activate it and focus on it. avoidance is really the form of activation. And if that happens in the future, that you will experience some, whatever it might be, online criticism or judgment or whatever will be, you will deal with it. And this is how, you know, when you go out fully in whatever way it is for you, when you embody those desires fully, is no guarantee of short-term success. Sometimes you will get insanely successful very quickly in whatever you do. Sometimes there is a little bit of journey. You may come across more challenges, but I tell you what, this is the only way how you're going to live your absolute full you, full truth, live limitless life, make limitless impact. That's the only way how you come to your fullness. So time for full embodiment, no more hiding, and time to really, really face those fears surrounding that hiding. So do let me know. I will want to hear from you. What is it that you are, where are you doing a little bit of hiding? Is it to do with your voice? Is it to do with your maybe marketing, the way you present yourself? Is it maybe to do with boundaries? You don't strengthen your boundaries? Is it you're trying to make yourself smaller to fit in relationships, in business, just not to kind of stick out? Is it that you're not accepting those desires that because you're it's too much or you would be too much? Whatever it is, let me know, and let's play this exercise only one time so you can move forward and be the full you. Okay, so for now I'm sending you so much love. It was just a quickie, just with this thought, and I will see you next time. Mwah!